Okay, if you guys want to follow me, we're going to go inside. We're going to take a look at a couple different things, show you what we do offer, and if you don't see it, doesn't mean we can't get it. Biggest thing that we like to stress here is it's not necessarily about the amount of product you get, but of the quality of product you get. So for instance, no name brand subwoofer. You can see right here that the voice coil itself has been heated up so bad that it actually started coming apart. This was supposed to handle 1,000 watts. You can see the size of the voice coil. $60, $80 subwoofer. You can grab 2, 3 of them online for the same price of this guy here. 8-inch subwoofer. This guy here is actually only supposed to handle 800 watts RMS. But if you look at the size of the voice coil on it, you can see that it's got way more cooling surface, way more windings for the coil for better heat distribution. This thing had been used and abused for 3+ years before we took it apart for this demonstration. This one lasted less than a month. So it's not necessarily about how much you can buy for your money, it's more so what quality of product you can buy for your money. So on that same token, we've got a few of these lined up that we can show, and just because a 12-inch sub is still 12 inches right here, this is however still a 12-inch sub too. This is however still a 12-inch sub too. But if you look at the size of the difference in the voice coils, this is where you get your power handling. So just because a subwoofer says 1,000 watts doesn't mean it's going to take and handle 1,000 watts like this subwoofer. Just because this subwoofer can take 1,000 watts doesn't mean that this subwoofer is going to take 1,000 watts like this one. So you all have different sizes and capabilities as far as power ratings. This all goes with amplifiers, with door speakers, with radios. Just because it's branded and labeled with a particular number on it doesn't mean that it's capable of doing that, and capable of doing that for a long period of time. So that is the number one thing that we stress here at CarTunz, is education. If you have a question, if you have a problem, if you need some tech support and you bought some stuff online, not a big deal. Give us a call. We'll gladly help you out, because that is something that you do not get online. Couple of few items that we have out to show you guys here. We'll start over here, of course, with our Redline DD Audio subwoofers. This is a 12 for your everyday user. Not a big deal, not a huge amount of boom, but it'll definitely give you plenty of boom. They do offer as well 10s. And then this is something cool and new that they just come out with not too long ago. So this was their big bad 6.5 subwoofer. Then they turned around and came out with this 6.5-inch subwoofer. So you can notice the size difference in these two, but these are actual 6.5-inch subwoofers, not door speakers, subwoofers. So that is pretty cool that they come out with something like that. They do come out with pretty cool ingenuity stuff all the time. But then we'll transition on to door speakers. So you have an actual 6.5-inch door speaker as well. You have your 5.25 door speakers, and you come over and then you have your 4-inch door speaker with a 4x6 adapter plate. So it doesn't matter if your vehicle takes the 4-inch or if your vehicle takes the 4x6, they've got you covered. We've got a 5x7 as well. They make all different kinds and sizes of speakers, different entry-level speakers. You can end up anywhere from $60 for a set of speakers to $300 depending on how much you want to get into it. As well as this is their DM series amplifiers. You have the DM1000 and you have the DM500. Small chassis amplifiers, big power in a small package. But if you're wanting something a little bit bigger, a little bit crazier, with a lot more power, then you can jump over into the bigger stuff. So you have the 12-inch 9900 series. These are actually what is in the DD Beast. Then you have the 10-inch Z series. This is actually a Z3. Then of course you have the big bad boy, which is the 21-inch 9900 series. This sub here, the 21 and this 12 here, have the same motor structure, same voice coil. same power handling. The only real big difference is the aspect of a 21-inch cone versus a 12-inch cone. Kind of cool and interesting to think about. So DD, whether you're entry level, moderate level, or experienced level and just want to go crazy with things, DD offers a little bit of everything for everybody. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your charging system. You can have as big amplifiers as you want, as big as subwoofers if you want. Doesn't matter if you do not have the charging system to supply that power. It takes power to make power. So first off, we're going to start with the alternators. So this alternator right here is a CES 270 amp alternator. 270 amp at idle, that is. We can get them powder coated to match any color that you're wanting that is available. And then of course you can add multiples. There's different brackets, everything like that you can add more alternators if your vehicle is required. So, you got your good, your big, your heavy duty alternator to supply that power that you need for your system. Then as well as we offer the AGM full throttle batteries. The AGM full throttle batteries are built a little bit more robust for the demand of the constant pull and the constant draw on the batteries themselves. AGM is a sealed gel battery, so it doesn't matter, you put it on its side, upside down, inside out, whatever you want to do with these things, you're never going to have the issues with them that you will with a liquid lead acid battery. But in certain vehicles there becomes an issue where you don't necessarily have the space and you can't have all the weight of all these extra batteries that you need. So that's where we get into the lithium batteries. This is a real actual battery that is capable of handling up to 5,000 watts on the stock alternator. It is not very heavy. Lithium technology. This is exactly what is running in the DD Beast. 32,000 watts clamped, and I have 4 large batteries in it right now. I am getting ready to change it out to 3 larger limitless batteries, however. Great company, great customer service, but it all depends on what your vehicle is requiring. If you're running a 1500 watt system, which is just fine, but you do not need an $800 battery for that as well. So then we can get you set up with, like I said, the AGM batteries. Get you set up with your full throttle batteries. Your full throttle batteries can mount in your OEM location, or you can also put them as your secondary, third, or your rear battery bank as well. Just remember, it takes power to make power. If you do not have the power, you're going to get into clipping, you're going to get into distortion. Clipping and distortion can destroy subwoofers and amplifiers way faster than overpowering a subwoofer. So just remember, very important to make sure that your charging system is up to snuff. So we got here the DD Beast t-shirts. On the front of it you got the Beast logo. On the back of it you have the CarTunz logo. This is the only spot that you will end up getting these t-shirts, is either from this store or when we are out and about doing competitions. We also have, for us that work on the Excursion and the DD Beast and work at CarTunz, we have our own work shirts as well for advertisement. DD Audio's on here, JY Power, which is a great lithium company. However, we are changing over to limitless lithium, so that will be changed out on there. And on the back you have the DD Beast logos. Sponsors are Gibbs Towing, CarTunz, CES Alternators, and a big shout out to Jim's Metalwork for doing all our fuse blocks and bus bars, everything like that on the DD Beast, and a lot of builds that we actually do here at CarTunz. So just a couple different items that you can get here. Like I said, DD Beast, CarTunz logo, you can only get them here. And then let's go take a look at the DD Beast while we're at it. Being we're talking about. The DD Beast is a 2001 Ford Excursion that I guess you can say is pretty heavily modified between the suspension, transmission, to be able to handle the weight of this thing. This thing legitimately drives 100% to all it shows, as well as pulling a trailer. 12,000 pounds, we have to make sure that it is safe. So the suspension and the transmission definitely are #1 things. Now the first thing I really want to get into before explaining it is that it is not a solo project. Yes, this is my vehicle. However, there is a bunch of us that actually work on this thing, and to make it possible for it to be able to be safe and drive up and down the road and still make it to all your competitions. Woodwork, fiberglass work, metal work, body work, electrical work, I mean the whole nine. There's a huge group of us that actually go through and do it. So it's not a solo thing. So first and foremost, we'll start up underneath the hood. And as I was explaining earlier about your charging system and your batteries, doesn't matter how big and how bad your system is if you don't have the charging system to back it up. So behind here we have the 3 CES 270 amp alternators. Custom built bracket. Once again, like I said, it is not a solo deal. So one of our team members and his old co-workers got together and built the bracket. This is the only one of its kind out there to allow 3 alternators on that V10 6.8 liter motor. And then you go over here to your battery, of course. The AGM battery I usually only have hooked up when I'm driving it in and out of the shop. Don't have the lithium batteries hooked up, etc. You have your main power wires going to the back. Other than that, there is no engine mods done to this thing. It is not a race car. It is not a NASCAR track. We legitimately need it built big and beefy to handle all the weight. Then you move over here, you have your bracing to your firewall and your radiator support. And the main reason for that is this thing moves violently enough that it has enough flex. You can even see here that it's got its bracing to the brake booster as well. We have actually taken the brake booster and ripped it out of the firewall. So that has had to be welded up. 100% solid steel for the cowl. This thing, like I said, it is violent, it moves like crazy, and it is able to rip the metal with no problems added. Not a solo deal whatsoever. So then we'll go through and we'll move around to the inside. And then on the inside here, you have your custom doors. You have your DD Audio VO 6.5s and your DD Audio B2s. That'll give you your front staging. Each door is exactly like this. That gives you your front staging, your vocals, etc. Then when you move on to the inside in the center, sorry it's a little bit dirty. We had the comp over the weekend and I haven't really had a chance. All right. And on this side, like I said, it's the exact same thing as on the other side. DD VO speakers, DD B2 speakers as well. Don't mind the mess a little bit, but I also have some DD VO speakers on the center console as well. This is the coolest thing that I have put in here as far as the radio by itself. We have the Alpine Halo 9. This vehicle is 164.4 so far, the highest that I've gotten for it. I'm going to hit that 165. The radio is still going strong, haven't had no problems with it. The biggest problems I've had so far is the dash itself keeps breaking, but the radio is rock solid. Of course, you've got to have your backup camera. You don't have a vehicle like this without a backup camera being able to see what's going on behind you, etc. So then we've got all our switching down in our switchboards. So we have the front doors on this one, we have the rear barn doors on this one, and we have the subwoofer on this one. So I can individually control anything and everything that's going on with the stereo, all itemized by itself. Then another cool thing that I want to get into is the actual bass knobs and the SPL cartel knobs. Absolutely amazing products. I've got this one long enough so I can take it outside the vehicle and I can demo. So this one here is for the subs. This one here is for the front doors. And I can individually turn these up and down to control the front doors, and this one here is for the rear barn doors. Like I said, everything is built and set up for this thing so you can individually control it for the shows. SPL Cartel is the absolute greatest company that I've been able to work with for these knobs. perfect, never had any issues with them, straight up great customer service. Then we're going to put and move into the sub box itself. And this is kind of where it gets interesting. The sub box itself, you have 12 of the 99 12s. These are non-ESP subs, and right now I'm clamping about 32,000 watts between the 12 subs. It is a 6th order. Top chamber is going to be tuned right around 50 hertz or so. The lower chamber is going to be tuned right around 27 hertz. Pretty cool. Big, solid, beefy bars for the bracing on the inside of it. Got those powder coated blue as well. Speaking of the bars, to allow the enclosure not to flex in or outward, we also have this bar here. This bar here connects the top windshield, which is all solid steel here now, down to the floor for the transmission pan. And we've had to rebuild the floor as well as that area because it ripped out of the floor. Then you get up to the roof, and as you can see, it looks pretty good, but if you pay close attention, it is not a normal headliner. It is solid wood roof, just carpeted over. But once again, when you get into that caliber, it's kind of what you need up there. So now that we got the inside of this thing taken care of, I'm going to take you back and show you where the amplifiers are, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now here we have 2 of the 4. The other side is identical. So 2 of the 4 DD Z2C amplifiers. And what's really cool about these things is they are limited edition and as of right now discontinued. So it is kind of cool to have something as a rarity and limited edition inside your own vehicle. Very powerful amplifiers. Right now, I'm clamping between 82 and 8300 watts out of each amplifier. Once again, this is not a solo deal. So one of my good buddies and teammates up in Billings actually ended up trimming out this for me right before Slamology, actually. So you don't see any really of the power wires, anything like that. Keep it all nice, neat, and slick. As far as the door panels themselves go as well. Keep everything nice, neat, and slick. You want the main focus to be on the amplifiers themselves. You don't, however, have big, large amplifiers like that without generating some heat. So these actual grills over here are for the fans. So once the fans are on, then you go ahead and you blow air across everything, and then we can roll down the window a little bit and circulate the air flow coming out of them. So it is pretty cool. Very big, very large, powerful amplifiers. As I explained earlier, it doesn't matter if you're entry level, just starting into car audio, or if you're moderate level, or if you're going to do something crazy big like this, DD's got you covered in all aspects. Now let's take a look at the back. So of course, we've got the 55-inch TV in the back with our Xbox One and PS4. Right now we're going to go ahead and throw an update on it, but while that's doing that, we're going to go over to the door speakers. It's really cool, nothing too fancy, nothing too special, but we have some rear door speakers as well for when you're doing your entertainment. DD-VO8s, DD-VO-V2s. And then as well as with having all that, you also have your amplifiers in the back. Amplifiers in the back. The SS6s control the front doors. One has the actual mid-range woofers on it. The other one has the tweeters on it for your horn tweeters up front. The center amplifier, however, controls the rear barn doors. And as well as if you can get up in here, you have the PlayStation, the Xbox One, your controllers, video games, stuff like that as well. So this thing was built definitely for the aspect of entertainment. Yes, it's a big vehicle, it's fun, it's loud. However, it is not built just for me. It is not just built for CarTunz. It is not just built for our team. It is built for everybody to be able to have fun with it. We pull up at the skate park, we pull up at a competition, or even if we get bored and we want to go pull up at a mall somewhere. Pull out the chairs, watch a movie, play a couple video games. Everybody has fun with it.